Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather and today we're going to be doing the January book tag. I saw Jan do this and I was like, oh, I want to participate. So I'm going to participate in this and support one of my favorite YouTubers. So the first question is first and last book of 2025. The first book that I read in 2025 was Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, and I gave it a 3.75 just because I was being petty. And I thought that it was a really well done mystery thriller. So yeah. And then later on in the year I read Gone Girl. Oh my god, that was so funny. I loved Gone Girl so much. It was a treat, okay? It was great, and I loved how petty Amy was throughout the entire story. That's a good book. The last book that I read in 2025 was In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Mercado, and I really thought that was a really well done memoir, and it was very dark, and it had a lot of heart in it and a lot of grit, and the things that she had to go through were just really, really sad. But I thought that it was a very well done memoir. I ended up giving it a 4.5 just because some of the writing in it I didn't really like, but overall it was a very powerful memoir, and I think a lot of people would get a lot out of it. So what is your first read that's going to be in 2026 or for this year? I already read Island Time by Georgia Clark. I was able to finish that the first day of New Year's, and I gave that a 2. It'll be coming up in one of my vlogs coming up soon for Reader Roulette, but it wasn't my favorite. It was more of like a family saga than it was of a romance. It did have romance in it, but just wasn't my fave. So stick around for that video because it'll be coming out soon. Share 3 reading goals for 2026. My first one is to read 150 books. I was able to read 243 books in 2025, which is the most books that I've read ever since having kids. And I had my first baby in 2018. So I haven't read that many books in a very long time, but I always try to do like 100 to 150 books a year, and I feel accomplished when I do that. The next thing is I want to stay on top of all the reading challenges that I participate in. I participate in the Buzzword Readathon, obviously. I found this keyword challenge on Pinterest randomly, and I want to start, like, I want to keep up with that. It's basically kind of like the Buzzwordathon, but it's just called keywords, where you find words in the title and read those books. And I also found the Black Author Horror Book Reading Challenge 2 on Instagram. So I want to participate in that, where I read 1 or 2 books by horror authors every month, just to make sure that I'm staying on top of diversifying my reading experiences. I also want to be more consistent and active on Instagram and BookTube. I kind of fell off in 2025 because 2025 was my mental health journey, or like the year of mental health for me. I needed to do that, and I finally did it. I finally feel better, and I've been having a lot of fun on Instagram and BookTube the past couple months, and found some new accounts that I like to follow, and I think I am finally getting into the community a little bit more. It's very hard for me to get in the community because I don't want to seem annoying or like too much, because that's one of the things that I struggle with, feeling like I'm just being a burden on people. But this year I want to get out there more and just, like, you know, start talking to people more. And I know it says 3, but I'm gonna throw in another one. And I want to read more manga this year. I only read 2 manga in 2025. That is not good. So I want to read more manga this year because I have some really good ones on my bookshelves that I just didn't feel manga last year, but I want to read more this year. 3 of my most anticipated books of 2026. These are my top 3. I do have more, obviously, because there's a Rachel Hawkins that's coming out. I love me some Rachel Hawkins, but These are my top three that I want to get to. Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker. Oh my god. Bad Eater was top tier. It's one of my favorites of 2025. And I was able to get Japanese Gothic on NetGalley, so I'm very, very excited about that. I loved Bad Eater, so hopefully I will love Japanese Gothic as much. Another one by Rachel Harrison's coming out. It's called Kiss, Slay, Replay. And I know that this is about, it's like a wedding and somebody is killing people. So, okay, yeah, that sounds fun. And then Big Girl Blitz by Danielle Allen. I read Curvy Girl Summer and Plus Size Player this past year. Curvy Girl Summer was 4.5 for me, and then Plus Size Player was 5. So hopefully Big Girl Blitz is just as great as these two, because I absolutely freaking loved them. I loved all the characterization. I loved the steam. I loved just the friendships that are in these books, because these books are following 3 best friends, and I am here for it. I'm very, very excited. So, and the cover is cute. It's all green and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. The next one is, which goals did you reach and not reach in 2025? I did not finish my 25 books of 2025. I think I have like 4 or 5 left, which I'm gonna make a vlog about soon. And that's one of the things that when making like TBRs, I am a mood reader, so I don't stick to a TBR that often. It's kind of why everything is random on my channel. But that's one of the things that I want to do this year. I guess we can put that in a goal, is the TBRs that I make, because I do make tentative TBRs for myself. I want to stick to those, because obviously if I'm making the TBR, I want to read those books. But then I see other books and I'm like, oh my god, I can make a video about this. And I'm like, girl, you have ideas, so stick to the ideas. So hopefully I'll be able to do that this year. Focus more, you know? I didn't stay consistent with uploads. I've already talked about this, but I had 2025 was my mental health year, and I did take a few months off of YouTube and didn't really post on Instagram either, just because I needed to focus on my family and myself, and I do not regret that, because I needed to do it. I read over 100 books, which was my goal for last year. I read 243. I loved it. I utilized a lot of audiobooks while reading, you know, immersive reading. So audiobooks were key to last year. Next one is to continue to read out of my comfort zone. I did that a lot in 2025, and I enjoyed my time a lot reading more fantasy books, reading more science fiction books, figuring out my true taste in horror. I really found that out because I had just been reading, like, I've always read horror, but I really wanted to find like my true taste in horror, and I really do think that I figured that out. I love me some speculative horror, obviously paranormal horror, and horror about like psychological things, family dynamic horror, you know, solidifying that I love all of those things, just like I love all those things in thriller and romance and stuff like that. I love those in horror too. The next question is 2026 releases that I'm not interested in reading. So I typically don't really follow the hyped books that are supposed to be coming out, like the ones that are on like Book Talk and stuff like that. I'm not even on Book Talk anymore, so I don't really know what the most popular books are that are coming out. I think I will say Emily Henry, because I know that she's supposed to be coming out with one. And Big Beautiful Life, I did not like that book. I gave it a 2-star. But I did like Funny Story, which was released in 2024. And I also read Beach Read. So typically I do read Emily Henry, but I don't know if I'm going to read her newest upcoming one because Big Beautiful Life was just not for me. Funny Story was funny, so it'll have to be something that I'm super interested in. It's called Layover, I believe. No, it's not. Never mind. What is she coming out with this year? Sorry, I'm looking. I don't know. Is Emily Henry coming out with one? Anyways, I'm gonna say her. Even though I'll probably end up reading it. Reading habits you want to change for this year. I really don't have any because I started a spreadsheet where I keep up with everything, which I really enjoyed. Usually I hate Excel, but I've been getting into formulas and stuff like that. So I don't know. Oh, okay. I already had it. I don't know why I didn't look at it. Anyways, one thing that I always do is I start like 5 videos at once, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I don't finish those, and don't edit those. So one thing that I want to do this year is stick to at least 2 vlogs at a time, because I read at least 3 to 4 books at a time. And they're usually all for different things. But I want to pigeonhole myself into only like 2 vlogs at a time. More manageable. Because at one point last year, I was in the middle of 6 different things. And I got overwhelmed. And I did not edit those videos until later on in the year. Literally in December when I had my hysterectomy and I was not at work. And I think at least 2 vlogs at a time is more manageable than 6. So, doing that for myself and not being overwhelmed with editing, because I don't really like to edit. Editing is not my favorite. Reading the books and talking about them, love doing that, but editing videos ain't my fave, okay? And when I have like 12 things that I have to edit, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So yeah, that. Book to movie adaptations that I'm excited about. I don't really watch a lot of movies or TV shows. I'm more of a watching YouTube type person. But I keep seeing Heated Rivalry all the way around. I want to read the book first, but then I also want to watch the Netflix series. So I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think that's going to be like my top one that I want to do. Oh, and I also forgot about The Shining Girls. That was made into, I think, was it a movie or series a couple years ago? And The Shining Girls is one of my favorite books of all time. And I completely forgot that they made a show about that. So I need to watch that. So the next one is favorite bookish memory of last year. One of my favorite memories is obviously, you know, figuring out my mental health. That's a personal thing. Anyways, reading more romantasy. I have finally figured out my romantasy taste, and I have been really enjoying romantasy. And I think one of the reasons why fantasy in particular has always been a genre that I haven't really read all that much is because I find it intimidating. The world building, or like the political aspect of a lot of fantasy books, and just all the characters and having to keep up with everything has always intimidated me. But romantasy is that fine line that I find really fun, since a lot of romantasy is more about like the romance rather than all of the big world building and all the characters that you have to keep up with and all that stuff. So romantasy has really helped me get into reading more of the fantasy genre. So I've enjoyed that. I've been reading a lot more horror, which I absolutely loved this past year. Horror and me are, we besties now. And I had a lot of fun with my bookish bingo. I read a lot of books in those bookish bingos. I want to continue on with the bookish bingos. I find those so fun because I don't know when I'm going to end up reading. And it's books just like off my bookshelf anyways, which is something that I want to continue doing. I guess this is a goal too. Continue reading books off my bookshelf. I have plenty of books on my bookshelf. Rather than going out and buying new ones, figuring out which books match bingo prompts is so fun to me, and I want to continue that in 2026. So yeah, I love those videos. I thought that they were like really good videos for me. I know that they're long, but they really help in the long run. All right, and then carryovers from last year that you plan on reading this year. Obviously, the books that I have left over from my 2025 of 2020 25 books of 2025, I want to carry those over, but the main one that I want to carry over is The Shadow of the Gods by JAN-uary. I started reading that book, got intimidated, and then started reading other books. So yeah, I want to read that one. I love the cover of that one. I love the cover of all of those, and I just want to get into it because I've heard such great things about it. But y'all, it's big. It's a big boy, and those books just, when I have to write all the character names down and write like the family ties and all of that, I'm like, this is more work than it needs to be. But I'm going to read it. Okay, I'm going to finish it in 2026. It might take me 6 months to read, but I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to call that a win, because my library also has the entire series as well. So yep, those are all of the questions, or all of like the prompts to talk about. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I enjoy talking through these videos. I haven't done like a book tag like this in a long time, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this video, if you're gonna participate in Jan's book tag for 2026, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.